Welcome to the 2020 Ballou Junior High Veterans Day Virtual Assembly. I am Mr. Copples. This is a special assembly where we honor the many individuals who have fought and continue to bravely fight for our country. I remember once watching the beginning of an Army-Navy football game where the speaker referenced that every single soldier on the field would die for anyone at any moment. It wasn't necessarily what he said that got me, but it was the next part. As the camera scanned all the soldiers, there was not one dry eye. They were ready and passionate about what they do. We will begin today's assembly with the national anthem. When that is over, please have a seat. We will transition to a video made by Mr. Halfaday. Next, Ms. McKillop interviewed Jim Martinson, her neighbor and local veteran, with a very awesome story for us. Please stand, place your hand over your heart as we sing the national anthem.
Skies are crying, I am watching, catching teardrops in my hands. Only silence as it's ending, like we never had a chance. Do you have to make me feel like there's nothing left of me? You can take everything I have, you can break everything I am, like I'm made of glass, like I'm made of paper. Go on and try to tear me down, I will be rising from the ground like a skyscraper, like a skyscraper. Oh, as the smoke clears, I awaken and untangle you from me. Would it make you feel better to watch me as I bleed? All my windows are still broken, but I'm standing on my feet. You can take everything.
They risked their lives for you and me. Let this thanks be received, a thanks that is long overdue. Veterans are soldiers and always will be, but also something more, heroes. I see in the eyes of the veteran honor, pride, compassion, and power.
When you are a soldier, I will be your shield, and I will go with you into the battlefield. And when the arrows start to fly, take my hand and hold on tight, 'cause I will be your shield when you are a soldier. When you're tired from running, I will cheer you on. Look beside you and you'll see you're not alone. And when all of your strength is gone, I'll carry you until you're strong. I will be your shield when you are a soldier. And I will be the one that you can cry your song still.
matter what you crying for. She tells her daddy that she doesn't wanna see him go. She doesn't understand the things that he is fighting for. He tells her that it's daddy's job to go protect the world. She grabs her daddy's leg tight and she won't let it go. It tears his heart to pieces, but he doesn't let it show. He's gotta show his strength to give his daughter hope. He tells her that before you know it, I'll be coming home. He grabs his bags as he waits to go and board the plane. Looks at the bracelet on his wrist, it says his daughter's name. A smile graced his face, he wipes the tears away. He says, don't worry about your daddy, I'ma be okay. Before he goes, she says, there's something I want you to see. Pulls out a paper and she hands it to him quietly. As he looks down before he even gets a chance to speak, she says, I drew a picture, daddy, it's just you and me. You and me.
When you come home, I'll stop this. When you come home, I'll hide it good. I'll never cry again. When you come home to me.
Each passing day she never keeps her daddy from her mind. Sits down at night and says a prayer and hopes he's doing fine. Why did he have to go? He could've stayed at home. I hear my mommy cry at night, when is he coming home? But daddy told her that he had to help some people out. He said to trust him and he had to make his country proud. Although it hurt to have a daddy missing out on things, she kept the faith alive and knew that he would be okay. Then the day that she was waiting for it finally came. Her mama got a call, said daddy came back on the plane. Her heart was racing fast, she couldn't bear to wait. She never thought that she would ever come to see the day. At the gate she sees her daddy as he's walking through. She runs up to him, hugged him tight and gave him kisses too. Her daddy reaches in his pocket, pulls a picture out. Tells her the picture is the reason why he made it out. Made it out.
I saw you again. I knew just where you'd be.
I want to stop here for just a second. Jessica's father called me. Jessica has a brother in Afghanistan that she wishes could be here today. I know what that's like. My wife and I had a son in Iraq in the Marines. Jessica, when you see your brother,
I'm fine, was blind, but now I see so clearly. And hallelujah, grace like a rain falls down on me. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. They're washed away. Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious and dear that grace appeared the hour I first believed. Hallelujah, grace like rain falls down on me. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. They're washed away. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. We've no less than days to sing your praise than when we first began.
Hi, this is Miss McKellop. I'm a teacher at Ballou Junior High, and I teach ninth grade English and drama. And I have the privilege today to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, Jim Martinson. We've been neighbors for about 20 plus years. So, and he is a veteran of the Vietnam War, so he's got some experience to talk to you about today. So listen closely and to the questions as I ask them and as he answers them. So, Jim, what are your thoughts on Veterans Day and
I think, well, Leanne, I think Veterans Day is probably one of the most forgotten holidays, but at the same time, it's, I think, one of the most important holidays. And the reason I say that is because I'm a veteran. But besides that, my dad was a World War II veteran. I've had relatives in the Korean War and the Vietnam War, some others in the World War II. And I just think that a lot of times we don't realize what Veterans Day is all about. And to me, it's about freedom. And freedom is so great because until we realize what we have and we lose it, we'll never be able to understand how great it is.
Thank you. Great. And can you tell us a little bit about your experience as a veteran during the war?
Yes, my experience is pretty interesting. Like I said earlier, my dad was in World War II. I had three brothers. We were very, very outdoorsy. A lot of times we'd be up at the mountain up by Mount Rainier, and for some reason at that time, the military was training up by Crystal Mountain, Silver Springs, and we'd go over there. Dad would take us over, and we'd get to go into the mess hall of these tents. And I thought, boy, this is kind of interesting. So when my turn came to graduate from high school, it was during the Vietnam War. And during the Vietnam War, it was interesting because if you didn't keep a 3-point grade average, at least 2.5 grade average in college, then you were pretty much going to get drafted in the military. Now, when you got drafted in the military, normally you'd go in the Army. But if you enlisted in the military, you could go into the Navy or the Air Force or whatever other branch of the service. Me, wasn't really a good student at that time, so worked hard at that. Went over at Yakima Community College to play football, And I got over there, and I was a really good downhill skier. My grades were terrible, so I dropped out. And next thing I know I got a draft notice from Uncle Sam that said greetings. So I came back home and was inducted into the military to go into the service. And I went in as a 2-year draftee, and somebody's going to be in the military and in the Army. So the next step was that I had 8 weeks at Fort Lewis, 8 weeks at Fort Polk, Louisiana, 6 months in Hawaii, and I'm thinking, I'm down to 1 year left. I'm not going to end up going to Vietnam. Well, changed. Our entire 11th Brigade, 4th to 21st, was sent over to Vietnam, landed at Chu Lai, and for the next 5 months, 4.5 months, 5 months, I was in the infantry, and our job was to go out and we do search and destroy. We'd look for the enemy, then we'd look for us. We would look for places where they were going to stash weapons or supplies or things like that, and we'd be flown around by helicopter, dropped off. On June 29th, 1968, my outfit was set up, and we were in an area for an LZ, a landing zone, to get resupplied. And I was sergeant at the time, sent up a couple of guys, and I went up on the hill. About halfway up the hill, a landmine went off, explosion, maybe it was even 2. It blew up. I flew back onto my back, blew my right finger off. My right leg was pretty well severed, and my left leg was cut pretty deep behind the knee in the artery area. Two guys in my outfit that were not wounded came over and put tourniquets on my leg. They carried me back to the helicopter that they radioed back, threw me in the helicopter. I flew to Da Nang, and I went in to Da Nang in the hospital area, passed out, and 6 days later I woke up in Yokohama, Japan on July 4th, Independence Day. So that's kind of how that happened.
And then, wow, that's, I have never heard the entire story, so thank you. So since then, you've done many things. I know you still snow ski, you still water ski, you do all kinds of things. So how did your experience in the war and I guess the loss of your legs, how did that shape you or change you?
That's a really good question. I think the thing that really changed me was that I realized how much my friends had given, because that day that I was wounded, I didn't tell you, but 3 of my friends in my outfit were killed. So for me, Veterans Day takes on a deep meaning, because I think about those guys all the time, because especially the one guy from Colorado, Ron Catterson. We had kind of made plans, and he liked Corvettes, I liked Corvettes, and he liked skiing, I liked skiing. I skied in Washington, he skied in Colorado. And so we had all these ideas that we'd get together after we got out. And so when I think of Veterans Day, I think of how important it is to realize what we have. So for me, getting back from Vietnam, I went through 2 years, year and a half of feeling pretty self-doubt. I felt like, how am I going to operate as a bilateral above knee amputee, no feet, no knees, all that stuff that, a 20-year-old, 21-year-old goes through. And really, I'm not much different than the kids you're teaching, because there's probably 6 years of separation at that point in their lives and where I was at that time. So what ended up happening was I kind of went down in the dumps, met some really cool people that never gave up on me, just kind of had this faith thing that came on in my life that really changed my life. And I started working with young people. You guys helped me get out of this sad feeling bad, because young people didn't care that I had legs or didn't have legs. I cared. So what happened was I started challenging them to do the Sound and Arrows, a race in Tacoma. And I was going to do it in my 60-pound wheelchair. And so that was our goal, and I did it. and it goes from there. So it's pretty fun.
That's fun. I know you were one of the people that challenged me to run a marathon, and that got me to running marathons. So thank you so much. I know that you've done lots of things with sports, you know, with designing wheelchairs and other things. So do you think that's happened as a result too? Or?
Well, yeah, Leanne, there's no question about it. What happened was I started racing in this wheelchair that weighs 65 pounds. And I thought, this is ridiculous. When we live in Washington State where they're building airplanes and that are made out of aluminum, and this chair was made out of steel. So I went over to a couple of friends of mine and sat down. We designed a wheelchair made out of aluminum that weighed 25 pounds. And I got rid of the rear wheels and changed them to bicycle wheels and all that kind of stuff. So what ended up happening out of that is I started a little business. And that little business grew to where we were building racing wheelchairs, everyday wheelchairs. We were building tennis wheelchairs. If you ever get a chance to watch tennis in a wheelchair, it's pretty amazing. We were building hand cycles and quad rugby wheelchairs for another sport. And I started with a mono ski because I always wanted to ski, and I had 3 children. I wanted those kids to ski, so I wasn't skiing. So I'd go to the mountain, I'd sit in the lodge, and I'd wait for them. And then this idea of the shock with aluminum, with a snow ski, with a couple of outriggers, and guess what? The light bulb came on, and I learned to ski. In 1992, I won the downhill in France in the Paralympics, which is equivalent to the Olympics, and at 62 miles an hour.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And then I know you also are in the United States Skiing and Snowboarding Hall of Fame because of the snowboard that you designed. So
yeah, the Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame is pretty amazing because there's only about 5 Paralympians, people that are equivalent to the Olympics, that are in it. So I think I was the 5th one inducted. And my induction wasn't because I won the downhill or won a bunch of different races, but it was more as what I have given back to the sport. And giving back to the sport has been amazing because I've watched people that I've met in Oklahoma and in different states that will send me letters back and say, thank you so much for building this mono ski or this racing wheelchair. And I was able to get them, and not all veterans, but a lot of veterans. And it was fun and exciting to see that change their lives.
Yeah, because sports are such an important part to help people stay active and help them mentally, and that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. We learned so much, and I know it's a real inspiration for all of us, so thank you.
Great. Good luck, you guys. Go Veterans Day.
I hope you have enjoyed our virtual Veterans Day Assembly. We want to send a special thank you out to every single veteran for all your service and sacrifice that you have given all of us to have our freedom. Thank you, and a special shout out to Mr. Martinson, Miss McKillop, Mr. Halfaday, and everybody else that helped prepare this video. Have a great day, and don't forget to thank a veteran.